Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Shannon's Copper, good morning. Alicia, good morning. So, this morning, by chance, I was going to go over the final order that had been released 2 days ago in regards to this case. And while I was looking at that to maybe go over that today, I know a lot of other creators had gone over everything that had been released a few days ago. But this morning, when I went to check out that and see if I was going to cover that last part, I seen that there was a whole bunch more documents that have been dropped. So they were dropped yesterday, late yesterday, put into the record. So I haven't seen anybody else covering these new drops. There's a new lawyer. There's also some new orders regarding the sealed hearing that was held on January 23rd that we didn't get to see. That is about to be dropped. It's not dropped yet, but there's some orders regarding that. So I'm going to go over those. Good morning, Lori. Please smash that like button on your way in so we can get started quickly. It helps get it out there so we don't have to keep repeating things, right? Good morning, Smiling is Contagious. Long time no see. Good to see you here. Amberly Jones. Hello, and welcome. Okay, so let me get the first one up here on screen. I'm going to show them in the order that they have come out. Make sure that they are big enough so you guys can all see them. So this is one of the new ones. Like you can see right here, it was dropped yesterday, but it didn't show in the record until this morning for some reason. I don't know. So you guys are going to be the first ones to see these new documents. Nobody else has covered them yet. Bryan Kohberger has a new lawyer that has joined the team. We're going to go over that, where she's from, who she is, etc. But we're going to go over the documents as they came out yesterday. So you can see up top here, right up here. I don't know why my pointer is being finicky, but right up here, filed 2020, which was yesterday at 12:28 in the afternoon. And like I said, they didn't hit the record online until probably late last night. So that's probably why people don't realize that they're here, because they're thinking, there's a bunch of documents that just dropped the day before, so there won't be nothing new, right? Well, there's some new stuff here. We get a little bit more information also in some of these documents regarding one of the roommates. Okay, so let me get my screen turned here so I can see. Okay, so this one here was dropped yesterday at 12:28. Order authorizing release of court record, audio recordings pursuant to ICAR 32C subsection 2. Okay, so the above matter having come before the court pursuant to a motion from the state and no objection from the defense and good cause appearing by the court, hereby authorizes the release of the court record as follows. It is hereby ordered that the state shall be provided with audio recordings from court proceedings held in Latah County on October 26, 2023. And that was a motion hearing regarding the defendant's motion to dismiss the indictment on grounds of a biased jury. That was a closed hearing. And the motion hearing regarding the defendant's motion to dismiss the indictment on grounds of error in grand jury instructions, that was open to us. We did see that one. And January 26th, 2024, a motions hearing regarding defendant's motion to reconsider orders. Now, that hearing was also closed. We didn't get to see this hearing on January 26th. And motion hearing regarding defense motion to reconsider orders and scheduling conference, that part was open. So, why the state wants the recordings of all this is interesting, because they would have been there for all these hearings. Good morning, Norma. They would have been there. So why they want the recordings now? Maybe there's something in there. Okay, so here is an order sealing. This is from the judge. And this is an order sealing the state's proposed redactions to the January 23, 2025 closed hearing transcript. Now, this is the transcript that we are all going to be able to see as soon as it's released. And that's why every morning I get up and I look, and that's how I seen that there was even more new documents that had dropped that nobody knows about yet, apparently, because I haven't seen anybody else covering this, you guys. And like I said, they just dropped late yesterday, so that's probably why people haven't seen them yet. Excuse me. Okay, so based upon the state's motion to seal proposed redactions to the January 23rd, 2025 closed hearing transcript and no objection from the defense, the court does hereby confirm and order that the state's proposed redactions to January 23rd, 2025 closed hearing transcript is exempt from disclosure and sealed pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32G1 and all these subsections, right? For the reasons stated in the said motion. However, a redacted version of the motion redacting the names of individuals in question will be filed as unsealed. Blue says, thanks for covering. You're very welcome. I'm sure everybody else is going to jump on this once other creators start realizing there's even more documents. Like I said, a lot of the creators have gone over the documents that were dropped a couple days ago. These ones were just dropped, so you guys are the first to see them. So what happened was the court ordered that the closed hearing that we weren't able to see, they're going to release the transcripts to us, but they gave the prosecution and the defense 14 days. This is back at the end of January. The court gave them 14 days to put in their redactions that, which part of this hearing don't you want the public to see, right? So they submitted their redactions. The redactions that the state submitted, the court said that there is some that the names of individuals in question will be filed as unsealed. So let's see what the state filed. So this is the state's proposed redactions to the January 23 closed hearing transcript, which we should have any day now, okay? So I will be watching for it, and we will be going over it. So come now, the state of Idaho. Now, this one was filed yesterday at 14:28, which is almost, 2:30. So which would be 5:30 my time. So that's why I didn't see it. But it didn't go into the record. It only popped up this morning. So, okay, so redacted proposed redactions to the January 23rd closed hearing transcript. This is from the prosecution. Come now, the state of Idaho, by and through Latah County prosecuting attorney, and in response to the court's January 27th, 2025 order regarding the January 23, 2025 hearing transcript, this is when the court ordered that transcript be unsealed for us to see, but with redactions, right? Submits the following proposed redactions from the January 23rd, 2025 closed hearing transcript. So, number one, page 25, line 6, page 26, line 21. This refers to a witness and roommate of the victims. I believe this is going to say, this is either Bethany Funk or Dylan Mortensen. For some reason, I'm feeling it's Bethany Funk. Okay. So this refers to a witness and roommate of the victims. I think it says Bethany Funk, but I could be wrong, whose identity has been protected, at least in part, due to hostile public and social media postings. This portion of the transcript relates to a question by defense counsel to which the state objected, and the objection was sustained. Okay, so then page 28, line 12, page 31, line 18. So page 28 to page 31, line 12 on page 30, line 12 on page 28, and line 18 on page 31. This portion of the transcript involved inquiries by the defendant related to a separate Frank's motion instead of the relevant IGG topic, and like the portion listed immediately above, it was objected to by the state and the objection was sustained. I'd like to know what this is all about, right? Okay, page, this is going to be a long transcript, you guys. When we do get it, we're going to go over it. We're probably going to have to take a couple different days to go over it. Okay, so page 151, lines 6 and 8 and 15. This portion of the transcript deals with the names of distant relatives of the defendant identified through investigative genetic genealogy research, and which is already subject to a protective order previously issued by the Honorable Judge John C. Judge when he was presiding in the case. Okay. Page 153, line 9. This portion of the transcript relates to and they redacted the name here, something brothers, who were also identified as potential relatives of the defendant through the use of the IGG, and whose identities are subject to the prior presiding judge's protective order on IGG materials. The state respectively submits these redactions are appropriate in that they are exempt from public disclosure under Idaho Code 74-124-1C, as public release would constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy, as defined by Idaho Code 74-101. Additionally, the references to individuals whose names were identified through the IGG process as potential relatives of the defendant are already protected by the prior presiding judge's protective order on IGG materials. The state submits that these portions of the transcript are also subject to redaction pursuant to ICAR 32, and that publication of this information could be highly objectionable to a reasonable person. The records contain facts or statements that, and this is all redacted. So whatever, the records contain facts or statements that, and then the description is all redacted. Now, this is the only part that should have been redacted. I don't know why the rest of this is redacted here. So hopefully we get that in the transcript when we get it. Might endanger a person's life or safety, and redaction is necessarily to preserve the right to a fair trial. Hello, Allison. Remember that one hearing where Ann Taylor referenced Brian's car in reference to the white Elantra? I don't remember that offhand, but very possible. Good morning, Nana. So what we are hearing right now, you guys, is new documents that just dropped. Nobody else has seen them yet, so you guys are the first to see them. Okay, so once the prosecution filed this, you can see here at the top, filed 2/20/2025 at 14:28. The judge immediately filed this, 2/20, 14:43. So 20 minutes later, the judge filed this. Blue says redaction is interesting. Yeah, hopefully we see that part. Let me just go back to that for a minute. Hopefully we get to see this part here with just these names redacted. Hopefully. Okay, so as soon as the prosecution filed that, the judge immediately filed this 20 minutes later. Order redacting portions of the January 23, 2025 closed hearing transcript. This matter comes before the court on the state's motion to seal proposed redactions to January 23rd, 2025 closed hearing transcript and the defendant's non-opposition thereto. The state identified 4 categories of redaction. Let's go back here. And these are their 4 categories that he is referring to. 1 references to the name of a witness and a roommate of the victim. So we know that's either Bethany Funk or Dylan Mortensen. I'm having a feeling it's Bethany Funk. Number 2 was inquiries made by the defendant related to his Frank's motion, which the state objected and was sustained. Number 3 was names of the defendant's distant relatives identified through IgG. And 4 were individuals who were identified as potential relatives of the defendant through Othram Laboratory IgG. This court finds that redactions are appropriate as to the categories 1, 3, and 4 pursuant to ICAR 32 in that the individual's names are exempt from public disclosure, as the public release would constitute an unwarranted invasion of a person's privacy as defined by these rules, okay? So in addition, these redactions are warranted under ICAR 32, given these individuals' privacy interests predominate over the public's interest in disclosure. Publication of their identities could be highly objectionable and reasonable to a reasonable person, could endanger their lives and or safety, could jeopardize the right to a fair trial in this matter. Redaction of their names is the least restrictive measure consistent with privacy interests at issue and with preserving the integrity of the case and the right to a fair trial. Consequently, the court orders that categories 1, 3, and 4 be redacted from the January 23rd closed hearing transcript. The court does not find it appropriate to redact the information in category 2. Let's see what that is. That's this one. And that's the one that I was interested in. Very welcome, Blue. So this is number 2 that the prosecution asked to be redacted. Page 28, line 12, and page 31, line 18. This portion of the transcript involves inquiries by the defendant related to a separate Frank's motion instead of the relevant IgG topic. Like the portion listed immediately above, was objected by the state, and the objection was sustained. So we are going to be able to find that one out. And I'm waiting. I want to see what this one is here, right? So the judge agreed to redaction of all the other ones except for number 2. The fact that the court sustained the objection to the defense counsel's inquiries does not make the line of inquiry confidential or otherwise subject to sealing. Further, the portion of the transcript in the question does not reveal new or other evidence unknown to the public, the disclosure of which could jeopardize a fair trial or the ability to impanel an impartial jury. Consequently, this portion of the state's motion is denied. A transcript redacted consistent with this order shall be uploaded into the record in this case and made available on the Supreme Court's Cases of Interest webpage. That's where I get all my documents. So we are waiting for that to drop. Okay, the next up is going to be this motion by Ann Taylor for a pro-vac vice admission. Now, for those of you who, there's Sybil. Good morning, Sybil. Nice to see you again. Okay. For those of you who don't know what a pro-vac vice admission is, this is when they want to bring in another lawyer from out of state who is not licensed in Idaho. Okay. So they've got a new lawyer that I guess they are now formally adding to Bryan Kohberger's team. I have never, you guys, seen a defendant who is got lawyers that are being paid by the state because, he's got no money, right? Have so many lawyers and so much money, state money at his disposal. I've never seen this in ever, ever, ever. Like, look at Lori Vallow. She had two lawyers. So this is going to bring it, I think, to four now for Bryan Kohberger. That's not including all his expert witnesses, his private investigators, and all this stuff. This is like he's a millionaire and he's paying for these people out of his pocket. And it's the state of Idaho that's paying for this. So what it is Ann Taylor is asking the judge that this new lawyer be added to their team for this, and the Pro Hack Vice is just saying, like, she's not licensed. She's licensed in California. She's not licensed here, but we want her to be able and get like a temporary permission to be on this, just for this case, to practice in Idaho, just for this case. So let's read it. The name sounds a little familiar, so I don't know where I've heard this name before, but I know I've heard this name before. So comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorneys of record and hereby moves the court for an order for a pro hack vice admission of attorney Bicka Barlow. Do you guys remember ever hearing this name in this case? Bicka Barlow? Yeah, it is insane. Right. Especially when he was considered indigent, which means he has no money, so he was appointed lawyers. Now, the same as Lori Vallow was indigent, she got, because her case was a death penalty case, she got a death penalty qualified lawyer and a criminal lawyer. She got two lawyers. Why does Bryan Kohberger, this is four now. This is four lawyers. That's not including the private investigators, the experts. There was another guy that they had hired. There's, like I said, he is getting a team like he's a millionaire and he's paying for them himself. It's crazy. Okay. So nobody's heard of that name. Like I've heard this name somewhere before. I'm gonna have to look it up. Anyway, pro hack vice admission of attorney Bicka Barlow in the above entitled matter pursuant to IBCR 227. Bicka Barlow certifies that she is a member in good standing of the Bar of California, that she maintains the regular practice of law at the above noted address, and that she is not a resident of the state of Idaho or licensed to practice in Idaho. Ms. Barlow certifies that she has not been previously admitted under IBCR 227. Ann Taylor, defense counsel for Mr. Kohberger, informs the court this motion would allow Ms. Barlow to join the case as co-counsel and participate in trial responsibilities from the time of admission through the conclusion of this case. So this isn't just somebody that they want for certain parts of this case. They want her through the whole case. Defense counsel further informs the court that co-counsel Alyssa G. Massoth, so there's another lawyer, will remain in her position as trial counsel, and co-counsel Mr. Lodgson will remain as consulting counsel but will not participate as trial counsel. So that's, you got Ann Taylor, Alyssa, Mr. Lodgson, and now this one here. So 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3. This is going to be her fourth. His fourth. She's an attorney and a DNA expert. Okay. So they are bringing her on board. They've asked the court to bring her on board. DNA expert. Where did I hear that? I know I heard that name. Was she she's out of the state of California, Blue. Um Sorry for the cough, you guys. I'm almost over this cold. It's crazy. But was she not involved in the Letitia Stout case? Can somebody Google that and see if Bicka Barlow was involved in the Letitia Stout case? Nana says in case this goes for the death penalty. Well, it is a death penalty case. Let me just see this. Hang on. Was Bicka Barlow involved in the Letitia Stout case? Uh, uh, hang on. Oh boy. Okay, hang on. Okay, I've got something. We're going to go over her. Um, Attorney and forensic consultant. Forensic DNA consulting. Um, okay, I'm going to bring that up when we are done going over this here. Okay. Okay, so they want her through the conclusion of the case. Defense counsel further informs the court that co-counsel. Okay, we went through that. Defense counsel certifies that a copy of this motion has been served on all other parties in this case, and that a copy of the motion, accompanied by a $325 fee and a certificate of good standing, has been submitted to the Idaho State Bar. Defense counsel certifies that the above information is true to the best of her knowledge, and that Ann Taylor's attendance shall be required at all court proceedings in which Bicka Barlow appears unless specifically excused by the trial judge. Let's see what the judge says, what the judge ordered. Order granting motion for a pro hac vice. The court, having considered the motion for a pro hac vice admission and being fully advised in the premises good cause appearing now, therefore, it is hereby ordered that Bicka Barlow be admitted pro hac vice in this case, and that Ann Taylor serve as the local counsel whose attendance shall be required in all court proceedings in which Bicka Barlow appears, unless specifically excused by the court. It is further ordered that co-counsel Alyssa Massoth will remain in her position as trial counsel. Co-counsel Jay Lodgen will remain as consulting counsel, but will not participate as trial counsel. Okay. What's this one? Okay, we already went through that one. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Okay, let me get rid of all these up on screen, you guys, so I can... Okay, let me bring this over here so I can share it all with you. Doesn't give much. Okay, so about Ms. Barlow, it says here Forensic DNA Consulting, Law Office of Bicka Barlow. So she has her very own law office, Bicka Barlow, attorney and forensic consultant, Legal Talk Network. Now in her own private practice, Attorney Barlow specializes in cases involving forensic DNA evidence throughout the United States. Okay, so let's click on this one. There she is there. I think she was also guest appearances. So she worked on the Golden State Killers thing too. Okay, so attorney Bicka Barlow is from the law office of Bicka Barlow. In 2004, Ms. Barlow became the DNA attorney for the San Francisco Public Defender's Office, where she acted as in-house expert consulting with attorneys on cases involving DNA evidence and acting as co-counsel primarily on homicide and serious felony cases. So this is her specialty, you guys. This case is going to be her specialty. Now in her own private practice, Attorney Barlow specializes in cases involving forensic DNA evidence through the United States. I want to... Okay, so Bicka Barlow received a Bachelor's of Science degree from the University of California. You guys can reread this if you want to. I'm just looking to see if it's anywhere in here. It doesn't say. Okay, so let's see. So once Miss Barlow moved on to the law and obtained her GD from the University of San Francisco School of Law, graduating magna cum laude. Okay. After serving as a research attorney for the criminal division in the San Francisco Superior Court, Ms. Barlow opened her private criminal law practice. From the beginning, she focused on DNA cases. So she has always focused on DNA right from the beginning, because up here it says Bicka Barlow received a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of California, Berkeley in genetics. So she's going to be an IgG specialist too, right? She pursued her scientific and academic interests and obtained a Master of Science degree from Cornell University in the fields of genetics and developmental biology, with minors in plant molecular biology and cellular biology. Ms. Barlow's studies focused on the molecular mechanisms for controlling the expression of genes during development in plants and yeast. Ms. Barlow moved on to obtain her law. Okay, we read that. After serving as a research attorney for the criminal division in the San Francisco Superior Court, Ms. Barlow opened her private criminal law practice. From the beginning, I know, Blue, right? From the beginning, she focused on DNA cases. During her time in private practice, Ms. Barlow acted as an attorney or consultant on over 100 DNA cases at all stages of the proceedings, from trial to post-conviction in federal and state. Like, she's going to be big for the defense, you guys. In 1998, Ms. Barlow, along with lead counsel Michael Burt, conducted the first successful challenge in the United States to the admissibility of STR evidence in the case of People versus Boken. Ms. Barlow was DNA counsel in a capital case in 2000 that resulted in a life verdict. Ooh. Ms. Barlow was also co-counsel in a capital post-conviction case regarding Dennis Lawley, in which she was responsible for the handling of tool mark evidence. Wow. This evidence was the only physical evidence linking Lawley to the homicide. Oh, doesn't that sound familiar? Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you guys. Okay, there we go. Look at this. Um, where did I just read that now? Uh, right here. Okay, right at the top here, Miss Barlow was also co-counsel in a capital post-conviction case in Dennis Lawley, in which she was responsible for the for tool, handling of tool mark evidence. This evidence was the only physical evidence linking Lawley to the homicide. That sounds familiar, right? Calling in the troops, absolutely, Blue. Later, the evidence that the gun found in Lawley's possession was the murder weapon was disproven by the discovery of the actual gun found buried in a field over 20 years after the crime. In 2004, Ms. Barlow became the DNA attorney for the San Francisco Public Defender's Office, where she acted as an in-house expert, consulting with attorneys on cases involving DNA evidence and acting as co-counsel primarily on homicide and serious felony. So that's what she is an expert in, you guys. In 2013, Ms. Barlow returned to private practice. She now specializes in cases involving forensic DNA evidence throughout the United States. Her experience covers all type of cases and includes STR-based DNA testing, mitochondrial DNA testing, and YSTR-based testing. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is Ann Taylor did good. Ann Taylor did good with the Bicka Barlow. She's bringing in the best. Blue says calling in the troop. Yep. Sybil says, wow. Yep. Crazy. Yep. Um, if the judge declined this attorney on case, this might be where BK's constitutional rights. Well, he didn't deny it. He's allowed Bicka Barlow to join the Bryan Kohberger team. And yes, if he didn't allow it, it's his constitutional right. But where does it end? Where does it end? You know what I mean? Oh boy, for real, right? It could be. It could be. Now, the prosecution is on notice that they're bringing on Bicka Barlow, and I do believe that this Bicka Barlow was also a witness in the Letitia Stout case. I do believe, because I've heard this name before, and I believe it was in the Letitia Stout case. So, yes. Now, she can only, like, this lawyer here, Bicka Barlow, I mean, I would want her on my team, on my side. Like, she seems like she knows her stuff. She has basically, for the last 20 years, been hyper focused on DNA. Everything about DNA, from STR to micro, everything DNA. So she is hyper focused on DNA. That's what you want on your team, right? Smiling is Contagious says, does anyone else feel like they are rolling the red carpet out for Bryan? It seems like they don't even have an expense account. Right. I said that earlier. It seems like he's a multimillionaire and he's paying for his own team with the amount that the taxpayers are paying for his defense. I've never seen it before. Blue says, I'm going to go on a Barlow deep dive. From what I can see here so far regarding Ms. Barlow, she looks like a very well respected. Look at this, ResearchGate. She has 5 publications cited by 165 others. I think it's okay. Let me see. Hmm. Let's see what else here. Like, look at all this on her. Legal reviews. Okay, let's see this. Licensed for 28 years, Bicka and Barlow is a criminal defense lawyer in San Francisco who attended the University of San Francisco School of Law. Um, so specialties: criminal defense, animal law, criminal law, litigation, general practice, appeals. So that's how she started out. Now she's like DNA, right? Hmm. You're very welcome. Networked. Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to see here if I'm gonna get anything where she. Okay, so this is a year ago. Bryan Kohberger and Bicka Barlow is new hire defense. So was her name mentioned previously in? It had to have been because JLR covered it back a year ago that they may have consulted with her. Kohberger Defense welcomes Bicka Barlow. But I've heard her name somewhere else. I've heard her name somewhere else on another big case. And I believe that um, she was also used in Letitia Stout case, I believe. Sybil says, I feel like Ann Taylor is using this all to blow her own trumpet. Well, I mean, I don't blame Ann Taylor for hiring or bringing on board Bicka Barlow. If I was his defense attorney, I would have wanted Bicka Barlow too. Ann Taylor knows that her ship is sinking, and it is snowing here again. You guys, pray for me. Oh my God, I just dealt with like 3.5 feet of snow. We just got the sidewalks cleared. We still only have one lane on our road open. People are still blocked in and can't get out, but at least the sidewalks and at least a lane on each street is open. And now it's snowing again. This is crazy. Anyway, um, Glenda SD says, as we are saying AT's gloves are off and now comes the fight. Yeah, it seems like now I don't know if she was brought in, she had to have been brought in by the defense for the defense to be able to still use her now. If the prosecution had brought her in earlier to maybe go over some of the DNA stuff that was being fought back in Latah County, stuff like that, then the defense wouldn't be able to use her, right? So the defense, did they bring her in as a one-time witness? You know what I mean? For when they were fighting the IGG back in Latah County, maybe? Because now she's officially a part of the team. So she's not just brought in to give information to the judge so the judge could make a formative decision. She is now added to the team. Hopefully it's all a build up, no climax, if she had been there for a while. Like I just explained, Blue, I think that she was brought in it. I'm going to have to go back and look. So I could be wrong on this, you guys. This, you know, my memory, but from what I think I'm recalling is when they first started fighting about this IGG stuff back in Latah County with Judge John Judge. I think they brought her in just as like a witness type thing, just to give the judge some more understanding and clarification so he could make an informed decision on this IGG shit, right? I don't think she wasn't part of the team back then, I don't think. Because by the looks of it right now, she is just being added to the team now. So was she used in the past as an expert to try and get a ruling on a motion back in Latah County? That's what I think happened. But I also know her name from another case, so I think it was the Letitia Stout case, but I'm not 100% sure. Blue says it's tropical heat here. Oh, well, right now I think we're sitting at minus 18. We have like 15 to 20 foot snowbanks up and down our streets. Like I said, we just got our sidewalks opened. I had gone out there with my snowblower and little shovel, and it took me all day to get at least a foot and a half wide path from the bottom of my steps out to my driveway, because I have a company that comes and clears my driveway, thank God. And then the very next day, this big, huge snow thing comes down the sidewalks to clear the sidewalks. And I'm thinking, I just killed myself doing that to get a little path. I should have waited. But anyway, and now it's snowing again. Thank you, Sybil. I appreciate you. And thank you. I got your PayPal yesterday. So thank you very much, Sybil. You didn't have to do that, my dear, but it's very much appreciated. I put a lot of work into these lives. So it's nice to see that people appreciate that. And so I thank you. I thank you very, very much. Sheena's Copper says, oh my God, I just saw your post with the snow pics. Yeah. If you go on over to my community tab, you guys, you can see I did a short also when I was out there. And then I've posted some pictures on my community tab. So go and check those out. Yeah, and now it's snowing again, and we're in for another huge snowstorm starting tomorrow morning. Just a life in the day. I'm just going to hunker down. I've got everything I need. I don't need to go out until next week for a doctor's appointment, but by then they should have. I'm not going out and shoveling again. I'm not doing it. Maybe she was already in to testify in one of the closed sessions. Glenda, that could be, but we wouldn't have heard her name, right? I vaguely remember her name coming up. So I'm thinking that they brought her in to, how can I say this? I think back in Latah County when they were fighting with the prosecution about this IGG, they didn't want it in. Judge John Judge was the hum-ho, laying back in his chair and smiling. I think Ann Taylor may have brought her in to explain certain things that she didn't think the judge was understanding or something like that. I don't know. But I remember hearing her name. Good morning, Carol. Carol says 17 and snowing. Someone says, I've been worried about you. Yeah, I'm just going to hunker down again. I'm not going out and doing that crap. I may bring the snowblower out just to get a path to my car. Like, we're not supposed to get like we got this last snowstorm, but we're still supposed to be getting 30 to 40 centimeters, which is normal for us, which is, let me see on my trusty tape here. 30 centimeters is a foot. So we're used to getting that kind of snow with breaks in between. Canada's built for this stuff. But we're used to getting that 20 to 30 centimeters every couple days. But it gives you that time to get rid of that snow before the next snow falls, right? Well, this last snowstorm we had on the 15th and 16th, it dumped 3.5 feet on the 16th, and it dropped almost 2 feet on the 15th. So we were dealing with back to back huge storms. Like, you should see the snowbanks here. This is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go out and I'll take a picture of some of these huge snowbanks. Just so, and then I'll show you on here. Oh, let me get to my window here. They don't look huge in this picture, but okay. Here, let me stop sharing this for a minute and I'll show you the picture. Oh, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. I hate this. But these are the snowbanks. It's hard to see. Can I zoom in? As you can see, well over the top of this car, this is a car going down the street. If you're on the sidewalk, you can't even see that car. The snowbanks are about 5 feet above the top of that car. And these ones down here are even higher. The road is down here. This is the road right here. So there's the snowbanks. So like I said, we got nailed. Maybe I'll upload this picture so you guys can see it better. Let me see. Let me see if this will work. I don't know if it's because of the light. Hang on, let me see if this... It might be this light. Hang on. There, I'll turn that light out. Maybe bring my camera down a bit. Oh my gosh. There you go. You can see where the road is. Wait, whoops. Oh, there's some snowbanks. There you go. This is almost up to the telephone wires. But here, you can see the road down here, and look at the snowbanks, how high they are from the road. I just had it good. Oh. Anyway. They're high. They're big. They're huge. So, yeah. So, another foot or two coming. Yeah. It's going to cause some problems. You just went through a week of 20 below. That's our normal here for the winter, minus 20. Yeah, we wouldn't have heard about her name in a closed session, right? Because the session would have been closed. I do believe that I heard her name. Let me get this back up. I believe I heard her name in the Letitia Stout case. Yeah, hibernate in the house and stay warm. Yes, here too. Like, I won't go on the 401 or the 138. The 138 is a major thoroughfare into Ottawa, and the 401 is a major highway that runs from Quebec to the other end of Ontario to the Detroit area. It runs right through the whole province of Ontario. I won't go on either during the winter. Like, the accidents are horrible on both of those roads. Blue says, bloody hell. Hence why I got a cold, because going out, and you got to go out and you got to shovel just a little bit at a time. Yeah, it's tons. Yep, the police showed up. I think in one of the pictures you could see the police car. The police showed up and made him move it, or they were going to tow it. Yeah, don't go out unless you have to. Blue is in Australia. Well, they usually come by with big trucks, with big, huge trucks, and they cut down the snow plows, cut down the snow plows, cut down the snow banks, and blow it into transport trucks, like the trailer part, and then they go and dump it. But because we've gotten such huge storms, they dump it like at the ski resort, and they dump it at a complex. But they've been hauling it to the St. Lawrence River and dumping it in the St. Lawrence River, which could cause major problems. But they've got nowhere else to dump it. Hence why we still got 20-foot snowbanks. Sybil says, can you do a reading on the missing pregnant teenager who ran away with a 40-year-old? I haven't heard of that case, Sybil. If you can get me the teenager's name, I don't want a ton of information on it if you want me to do a read. I just need her name, how old she is, and where she took off from. And I will, because I don't know nothing about the case, so that's good. That's the way I like it to do the ancestor reads. Yeah, this is normal. Smiling is contagious. It's a normal amount of snow. Actually, we're below normal. But what is abnormal about it is that we had it back to back, like huge storms. Like we're used to getting anywhere from 0 to a foot. You know what I mean? Maybe once or twice a week. That's normal. But to get back to back huge storms where you're getting feet, like 3 feet, 4 feet back to back, that's not normal. We had one day in between those two storms. That's why it's so bad. Generally, you got a couple of days to get that cleared away. The next one hits. You got a couple of days to get that cleared away. The next one hits. You know what I mean? This one, it was like back to back. You didn't have a chance. So that's why it was so hard to get this, and still is. They say it's going to take weeks. And we've got another big storm coming in tomorrow. Starting, actually, it's flurries are already starting, but the heavy snow is supposed to start tonight into tomorrow. Carol says that name Letitia still makes my blood run cold. Absolutely. And the melt off, Blue says, where's the melt off go? Um, well, I know my backyard and my shed and everything is going to be flooded again this year, because it hasn't had a chance to settle, but it usually melts into the ground. Like we've got a lot of open space around here, so it usually melts into the ground once the ground starts defrosting. But it usually melts away and goes into the sewer systems. Stuff in your backyard, and that will melt down and slowly start defrosting the ground as it melts from the sun, and that as it starts to warm up. The stuff on the streets and everything else starts melting and goes into the sewer systems. What they haven't removed, but generally, like with banks like this is where they get them removed so there's not flooding. But this year it's going to be bad. I know it. I already see it coming. So everything down in my basement will be brought up off the floor. I'll go into my shed and get anything electronic or anything lifted up a couple feet off the bottom of my shed floor because I know I'm going to have flooding. Linda says, I'm in South Dakota and next week we are to be 50 degrees. I wish. Hello, Brittany. Good to see you. Sophia Franklin. Sophia Franklin. Do you know how old she is? I just want to know how old she is and where she took off from. And now I know, so I'm going to write it down. Took off with a 40-year-old. Okay, don't give me any more information about the case itself. Just how old she is and where she took off from. Okay, Sybil, thank you. "16-year-old. So 16-year-old Sophia Franklin disappeared from her home in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, February 2nd. Okay, that's all I need. Thank you so much for that. Disappeared from her home. Did she take off or did she disappear though? You know what? Okay, let's not answer that. It'll come out in the read. Beaver Dam. I need this for the description and for the thumbnail, right? Wisconsin on February 2nd. Okay, that's all I need. And she took off with a 40-year-old. I know that. So, because somebody put it in the chat. So don't send me any more info regarding that, please. Yes, please send some. Send some. Send some sunshine and warmth. Thank you, Sybil. Okay. So this is the Bicka Barlow. So before I wrap it up, you guys, and I'm doing this out of caution, let me check the record to see if this has dropped yet, because everybody is waiting for this transcript in the Bryan Kohberger case to drop. So let me check it one more time here. And we know it's going to be, I think, yeah. Okay, so there's nothing else except for which just dropped this morning. And we've just gone over that. You're going to see a lot of other creators now coming out and going over this information. I'm anxious for some of the lawyers that are on YouTube to go over it. Maybe they got a little bit more that they have caught in this, but I'm not so sure. What's this? Why is this doing this? Hang on a sec, you guys. They'll probably have a lot more to say about this. But this Bicka Barlow is now part of the defense team. Yes. I'm not sure when I can get to it, you guys. I do have something planned already for tomorrow in my personal life. If I can get it done this afternoon, I will try. But I am quite bogged down right now at the moment. But I will get to it. If not, probably Monday. So this is it. This is the new lawyer that has joined. Where was her picture? Come on. Was this there? There she is, right there. This is Bicka Barlow. She has now joined the Bryan Kohberger defense team. She is a DNA expert. DNA typing, DNA forensics. You can see her skills and expertise: DNA forensics, DNA typing, biological and non-biological samples used in forensic DNA investigations. So I don't know if she's written publications. What procedure can I use to recover DNA after a cyanocycrate fuming? I think that's where they use water, removing DNA. The super glue, yeah, that's what I thought it was. Anyway, she's an expert in all this, you guys, and I've heard her name, and I think it's in the Letitia Stout case. I'll say it again. Um, but this is a little, I don't know. Put it this way, if I was Ann Taylor, this is the person I would want to hire regarding DNA, is this Bicka Barlow. We went over earlier, we went over all her qualifications. She's been named as an expert in over 100 cases. Ugh. She's not one to mess with. She knows her stuff. I understand. Well, enjoy your weekend. You too, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys all Sunday. If you want your very own mini read, come on in Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. I do mini reads where you can get your very own reading. So come and see us Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here, and get your own reading. So I will see a lot of you on Sunday. You guys usually pop in. Carol says, appreciate all your wisdom, spending time with us to explain all the things related to the case. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I learned stuff from you guys too, so it goes both ways here. Carol says, yay, another know-it-all. She seems to know her stuff. Like, I would want her on my side. You know what I mean? I would want her on my side. She seems to be very proficient in what she does. So she has 5 publications. We'll probably find out what all that is about, but later, Gator. Yes, we're going to wrap it up. This is what's come out. Anything else comes out, you guys, I will be here and bring it to you. I am watching the record for the transcript to drop regarding the hearing that we could not see on the 23rd. So when that drops, we will be here and we will go over it. I don't know how long it's going to take us to go over it because by the looks of it, it's a lot of pages. But we'll see, right? We'll see. Thank you so much, you guys. Smiley Contagious says, well, I'm praying for you some sunshine and warmth. Thank you, Smiling's Contagious. Thank you. She'll definitely outdo Jennings. That's very possible, Glenda. Good comment. That's very possible. Yes, may everybody have a blessed weekend. You too, Nana. Love you. Okay, so I'll end it like I always do. Please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings. I love you guys to the moon and back. Hope to see you all Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here for mini reads. Bye-bye for now.